What's going on, everyone? It's time for another horror thriller. Well, okay, I'll just call this one a horror film review. Today we're going to talk about Devoured. It was released May 6, 2012, and it's directed by Greg Oliver, who did films like Changing Whiskey, Johnny Winter, Dawn and Dirty, or Down and Dirty, Raoul's A New York Story, and the Lemmy documentary. So, yeah, this is a horror film where a young mother from another country comes to America to try to make ends meet, and she starts working nights to help pay for her son's surgery that he needs. But it turns out the restaurant she's working at has a dark past and is haunted. Also, the employers aren't a huge fan of her, so she has to deal with all that stress while trying to deal with the hauntings and what's actually going on. This film had some cool concepts and cool ideas to make an interesting horror film. Putting it in a restaurant setting was actually a pretty interesting thought, and I thought that was a pretty unique thing. Now, the way they went about it is the most stereotypical horror setup ever, and that jump scare filled. The ghost in this and the paranormal effects that they do are so basic, and half of it's just like a person painted white with a little filter over top to make it as dark as possible, but it doesn't really give it. Also, this film is terrible at building tension. It's just like randomness when it happens, and it just doesn't go. Also, if you can't get behind the character, the main character is going through all this, all this stuff just happens randomly and sporadically, and you're like, oh well. That's the problem I had with this. The most basic story, the most basic characters, done in the most basic way with a unique sort of setup. But still, with the way they executed this and everything, and the shocking ending, which I kind of actually enjoy when movies don't do the stereotypical ending, which is good. But this one was pretty predictable. The acting was okay. Cinematography was okay. The effects were okay. It was all just okay, and not what the most basic stuff. And so it's just wasn't really into this. I thought it was pretty boring because of stuff I've seen before, and I'm always looking for something new. Which, besides the setting, there wasn't very much new stuff to do with this, and overall, some of the characters are even annoying and stuff, so it's kind of hard to pay attention and sort of cheer on for what's going on. So I thought this film was a little bit too slow and just typical. So I'm going to give Devoured a 2 out of 5. It was right at best, and but it sounds like something you might be interested in. It is streaming on Shudder, and it's on Tubi, so I'll link it down below so you watch it for free down there. Also, link down below is my Instagram. That's where I post clips of films I'm going to review in the future. All my stories. I usually put the film title in there and some fun fact or history thing in there as well. Also, my Letterbox down below, Derek P Reviews. That's where I post my first star rating after watching the films. And my Twitter's down below at reviews_Derek. So follow me on those platforms. Stay in the loop with this channel. Like this video, share it so more people are aware of it. Comment your opinions of the film down below if you have any. If you have any films or film franchises in any genre and on any streaming service that you want to hear my opinions on in the future, comment those down below too. I'll try my best to get to them as soon as I can, and if I can find them. Make sure you subscribe. Hopefully we'll find something weird, obscure, and odd that you probably never thought of checking out together, and also show you my opinions on popular films that have come out, classic films, and reviews on other things as well. And don't forget to ring that bell, because we're going to do an independent horror film review called Fear Cabin: The Last Day of Summer in the next review, so make sure you tune in for that. Watch out for those haunted restaurants that cause a lot of grief, apparently, and I guess I'll see you all in the next review. So until then, cheers.